Hello, everyone, and welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time to my channel. I'm 𝓜𝓲𝓬𝓱𝓮. I'm an intuitive psychic medium, an intuitive mentor, and a channel and artist. This is a soul-led channel where I'm basically in service to my guides, the angelics, and other benevolent beings to bring through information whenever usually on quite a regular basis. A lot of this has been quite predictive, but lately we've got really increased intense energy shifts, and the angelics have stepped forward, made their presence known to me, and then that they've wanted to share something on my channel or for me to channel them. And this morning I was just lying kind of awake. I'm beaming in from Tasmania. I'm not in my usual spot. So this does feel a little bit different for me in terms of just getting into the vibe. So I'm just going to see how I go. But yeah, so I had a very strong presence of Yeshua, and I just felt his energy. It was very beautiful connection. And this was just while I was kind of lying, contemplating life in bed this morning before getting up. So then, of course, I realized, yes, Easter is just around the corner, and I got the distinct impression that he's come through to share something with you all. So I really would love to connect in with him and share whatever it is that he would like to share. I actually feel quite excited about this. He's, of course, a beautiful presence. And yeah, I was trying to get a few little clues, and he's like, just hold your horses, patience, and wait. So a very beautiful soul. When he comes through, he's always very humble. My brother, my sister, this is how he introduces kind of himself to me. So he aligns himself with us. Obviously, he's had a life here upon the earth plane, very exalted life, where he created massive shifts in humanity, which still ripple on today. And this was exactly what he was um, supposed to do. I did get the indication this morning while I was kind of very drowsy that he may have had, I could see two offspring, two daughters, I felt, and that this line did actually carry on. And I had the feeling that they were hidden. So I'm just interested to see or hear what's going to come through to share. So if you haven't been here before, I just follow along with my guidance and channel whatever wants to come through. So I do close my eyes so I can really focus on that. And also they just become pretty heavy during the experience. Okay, so just bear with me for a moment. I'm hearing straight away greetings to one and all, and thank you for being here with me today and joining this channel of divine guidance. He's waiting for me to relax into this, saying I'm waiting for the vessel to relax. Okay, so if I just keep going, I'll relax into this a little bit more. He brings you tidings about times to come, and also his benevolent presence at this time, coming up to the rising of Christ from his resting place. I get the indication not of his doing. And from his slumber. So slumber being the presence of the soul and the spirit in the human body during that time on earth. He had during this time increased awarenesses and was extra powerful, benevolent soul. And for this reason, he had healing and magical appearing abilities. He was a scholar, and he traveled far into the desert and spent time on a pilgrimage, his early life being troubled, not being able to settle. And I feel he created trouble for his mother and felt very disrupted, irritated, and unsettled within his life, causing mischievous happenings and angst for the people around him, not in a harmful way, but just not settling into life upon the earth, not feeling like he understood his place and feeling troubled. He's saying he was a troubled youth, and being already noted as a special child, having an aura about him and a presence of which was noted by those around him, sensing the stares of people as they felt a presence passing by, not understanding what his path was. And I just see him kicking over something, frustration. So there was a lot of frustration. He journeyed to discover himself, to discover his purpose, his path, this not being apparent to him. He became a scholar. I feel like he traveled across a desert or across a plains. I'm seeing a plains and hills on the other side, or mountains on the other side. And there he learned survival and himself and his boundaries and hunger and things maybe not expounded upon in our texts. He had a connection to something that he couldn't or didn't necessarily understand, these healing abilities not becoming apparent to him, but a natural empathy and a natural inclination towards hurt animals, hurt peoples, the laying of the hands coming later. The being able, I'm just seeing so much light above me, to pull down from universal light being very available to him. This is what is becoming available to us. This was more accessible to him, and so this will become accessible to us as well. This is where we are lifting to become. Yes, he says, as Jesus. So he's being placed upon a pedestal. This is not his doing, although this has many benefits. It also has many downfalls. There are many words expounded on behalf of Jesus, of which he wants no part of. This is not his truth, him being a very humble being. I'm seeing him he's showing me his hardened feet, leather Roman sandals. He lived amongst the people as a commoner, a pauper, he not having much, just one of the people, one a brother, a sister to all, and this is how he comes through to those who are connected with him today. He stands with us. He understands our plight upon the earth, the miseries, the contractions of the head. I just feel like the tightness, the worry, the concern. This is familiar to him. He holds out his hands to you. I'm just seeing him standing there with both hands outstretched. He's just slightly above the ground, surrounded in like a white light. I don't really feel that we are all going to be like Jesus. He feels very, very high vibration. So his humbleness and gentleness to all creatures. I'm seeing a deer. I'm seeing plants. I'm seeing their benevolence. So he could see this and understand this. So I'm hearing about thine enemies, or regarding the enemies. Look to them as your own family. Oh, interesting. I've heard this saying before, they know not what they do. They are blinded to the truth, the universal truth. sending out fear and worry and concern around enemies' behaviours, creating an expanded reality of those emotions expressed, sending out love and compassion and care, creating shifts that are tangible in warring times and times to come, sending out love and benevolence and happiness and joy, rather than suffering the plights of maybe, I'm hearing sufferance, having a better outcome. I'm seeing three wise men, or just three men standing there with their cloth over their head, and I guess it's three wise men's staffs, and okay, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is what the three wise men represent. The Star of Bethlehem being the guide that is available to each of us, shining the light and showing us the way. Mother Mary representing the sacred feminine, and Jesus as her counterpart, the sacred masculine, both being equal and divine, one not overshadowing the other. I'm hearing ministries to all, equality and love and compassion being shared and expressed through this union, this blessed union, which I am seeing two children. Maybe I was seeing like the dress, but I feel like it's shorter and sandals, and I'm seeing like something around the head. Very hard to tell if this is female or male. I feel maybe male. Could be male, male and female offspring. But dressed very similarly. The female, I feel, is dressed in lighter garments and longer. Male, just slightly shorter and more of a coarse, multicolored kind of tunic over the top, tied at the waist, carrying a crook, simple herds people, brought up in the hills with like Bedouin type scenario, a traveling caravan, safe from harm's way. Brethren, their offspring, exalted as well and seated into our reality. These are different beings who help to shine and light the way in days today, this being a light which exists in many of us. I feel extra connection, extra healing ability. This is just through the strength of universal connection, being very available to Jesus at a time. I'm hearing Yeshua, at a time when not so many people were awake. I feel like it was a time of bloodlust, of atrocities. I get the indication that this is a times that we're not going to repeat and come back to. This was a time that we have moved on as a people in general, the words of books, the sharing of stories, our global network being so much stronger, almost more acceptance in these days than in times past. The news from different areas of troubled spots just being so much more available to us, and therefore creating ripple effects globally. This is not something that we need focus on, and I'm hearing anoint. Oh, I just heard the word anoint. I'm not getting any more. So allow Jesus a place at your table. He can sit with you, hold hands with you, break bread with you, as if he were on your plane as your vibration is rising. This is becoming more commonplace, a happenstance, as if a natural occurrence. Okay, the raising of vibration. I do know that for myself. I have had different encounters with Jesus. First one was I was actually doing maybe a breath work or something like this, and I used to have mediumship which came through in little kind of almost like on TV screens, just up on one part of my mind's eye, and that's always happened for many years. And during this work, Jesus and Mary came through, and I'm not of any religion, and I chose not to follow any organized religion after I kind of dabbled in it a bit, and there was aspects which I didn't enjoy. And they just gazed at me, and they were moving, but just their peace and benevolence from both of their faces just emanated from them. And I was almost like looking around going, I think you've come to the wrong person. I'm not religious, but I just enjoyed watching their faces, and they were there for an extended period of time. And I felt like I'd had this really amazing, beautiful experience. And at that time, I couldn't understand. Surely you're here from someone else that's here in this meditation. I think you've come to the wrong person. So obviously, I've learned a lot since then. And I've had encounters and moments through kind of connection of communing with Jesus. I think he's come through before on this channel. But I do feel like, same with the angelics, it's just so much more accessible. I really don't need to kind of be in those moments of meditation or heightened awareness, or, after I've been channeling or something like that. So extend yourselves, reach. You need not travel as far as you think. I'm seeing just some practice around this. So just some rhythm and repetition will help. So maybe making this a little bit of a ritual. So I'm just seeing like it's a little bit old-fashioned. It's like a ball with incense coming out of it, like maybe old-fashioned one from Mass, but just having something which these, I'm hearing sandalwood, but I'm just feeling like kind of incense or rituals or cones or little Buddha. I'm seeing like a little Buddha incense holder. It's just a little gold one. So I'm seeing just maybe laying out something which helps create that feeling of ritual. Maybe I'm just seeing like some crystals. This being like a little altar, something which helps your mind, your body to feel that it has this connection. So making it a little bit of a ritual. So this ritual was really in place to help your mind, your body, your spirit say, now it's time for a connection, and just to create a focus and an ear and an expectation and a time that's been set aside. I see this as being very beautiful, almost like the pouring of the green tea, like a ritualistic Chinese or Japanese tea ceremony, very mindful awareness. So we are focusing our intention. Okay, so creating an tension, and this is a way this can help. And maybe setting this up somewhere, just something that catches the eye as you're passing by, like in your living room, giving this a moment, feeling connected to this energy, and then breathing through the I guess the emotions or benevolence of this connection. So being able to bring heaven onto earth. So this is the saying, being able to encapsulate and bringing this feeling of peace into your body, starting to live by this truth and it radiating and expanding out. These are exalted times. This feels in some ways that all is lost. And yet, why do we feel so good? Why are things changing? The wobbles that we feel internally around this change as we shed, as we let go, as we change, as we rise above, as relationships hearing peel away. Again, rising tide of these times go with this change. These are the wobbles. The wobbles we feel internally are also going to be expressed upon the earth. April being quite an intense time for some of this, so just allow this. No, this too will pass. Do not allow this to bring you down. So this is similar to the channeling about the vibration, not allowing happenings to lower your vibration, recognizing where this is happening around you in relationships, in interactions, where one interaction with another person leaves you with a feeling of dread, of diminished capacity, of contraction. Observe these and move away from that, which is uncomfortable. This does not serve you. Oftentimes this is a pattern created oftentimes in emotional connections, one of creating servitude of one being to another. Just coming back to standing equally, I'm getting particularly masculine, feminine together, so strong, and when it's equal. This is a divine countenance. This must come into balance. Okay, we are picking up on Iran. This trouble in Iran, ultimately, and I did get females when I saw Iran's kind of cityscape outline. I saw mothers coming out, looking at their daughters, coming out of their doors, hoping for a better future. This will lead to release and freedoms for the females in these areas, ultimately setting them free. This process takes a while. This has been, I feel, quite protracted. This kind of keeping down of the feminine. This is through jealousies and control and power mechanisms. Some states being quite fearful of the feminine power and trying to control this. These are some of the things which are being released, so allow this process to occur. There is much good that will come from this. The power struggle and release being one which is not necessarily comfortable to witness. There will be some upcoming environmental disasters. I'm seeing oil spillages upon the seas. This will also create much dismay. The wastage, the extraction practices, the unnecessary burning of oil, the pillage and plunder. I'm seeing ships on fire. This will come to an end. This too will pass. Just observe as if from a higher plane, like an eagle observing its surroundings, still gliding. I feel like I'm getting the word seamlessly, but I know that's not the word. I can't quite grasp it, but along those lines. And as the bird goes from one air current to another, and again, just and maybe it is the right word, just seamlessly gliding, allowing, not fighting. So too, this is how you should be. Okay, Easter. Seeing Easter eggs with almost like the egg that's been coloured and dyed, a time of celebration, Good Friday. I have to admit I don't know very much about like Good Friday and Easter Sunday, but I'm feeling taking a moment to acknowledge this day aside from, and I'm just seeing eating chocolate Easter eggs. So this day, it's a benevolent day, and I feel our children share stories with the children, not stories of fear and punishment and sin. This is not what Jesus stood for. This was men who came after and weaving this into his word and God's word, and this is not correct, or this has been misconstrued. I'm just seeing like I keep seeing this like I thought it was the Aurora Australis, but it's just purple vertical light. And I've seen this a few times. So just settle into these times and know better tidings will come. There'll be more equality. There does need to be a lot of change. So I'm actually getting slaughter practices again. Much needs to be done in this industry to protect animal rights. This is for each of us to take a stand. To be aware, do not hide from these practices. This is where change needs to occur. Just observe and make a stance. I feel the energetic distress of some of these animals, it's kind of adding just energetically to the whole, and this needs to be a more peaceful practice, wholesome. Okay, I'm also getting pedophile rings. I just feel the cracks are really starting to show and the light is shining on these as well. This is going to break wide open. This can no longer hold in Earth's current energy, the vibration being too low and sadistic. There will be many criminal offenders brought to light. Seeing Buckingham Palace, this too will crack wide open during this time. There will be, and I'm just seeing a lightning strike, major changes occurring here. Leadership, Trump being an instigator of chaos, and I'm hearing war. This not being a bad thing, this creating the shift, the stir that was required. I'm kind of getting, and I've always got that kind of feeling, neither good nor bad around this. It just is and was meant to be. I'm once again getting the American flag and expect troubles kind of in that local environment. These two will come to pass. The stirring, bringing up inequalities faced in this country, the gap widening before coming together. I'm seeing the eagle. I feel federal government changes here as well. Maybe it will take 2 changes of leadership before things really start to give way and change, and there's a better tide. Expect current leadership to fall maybe in the very near future, it having played its part. I feel the stress being too great. Also, I get that feeling British Prime Minister. Let's get this a bit about the leadership, but I'm also been drawn to China, and I've picked up this before, also under strain. I feel maybe what we're not going to be aware of is quite a bit of chaos, maybe in the market, in industry, issues within China. I'm seeing the Japanese flag, and I've picked up a bit about Japanese manufacturing. But again, looking to this nation, I'm just seeing green above Australia and New Zealand. Again, peaceful nations. I'm just seeing this whole Southern Pacific Asia region linking arms, being strong together. There is much to look forward to. Expect, and I'm seeing like the sun beating down and some drought conditions. Expect changes upon the earth. I feel this is things that have happened before and come to pass and cyclical and necessary to bring about these change in practices, which I've also seen. This is an opportune time. Grab it with both hands. Do not let it pass you by. Do not sit in your lounge room. And I'm just seeing like the remote in hand. I feel this is very repeating patterns. It must be very important at this time to grab on thing like a helicopter going past with like the rescue ladder and just grab on. Let's take you for a ride. Easter Sunday. I feel this is a day I'm hearing of worship. So maybe taking this day, taking a moment in peaceful contemplation, connecting in to Yeshua. I feel this is a particularly intense time and will be very this connection will be a lot easier. I see him holding both of your hands, kneeling before you. He would wash your feet. Gosh, he's such a beautiful, humble being. And this is how we must be to each other. And on this note, he's saying blessings. And that's all. Wow. That was very beautiful. I have to listen again, but I feel like there was a lot of messages that were very similar to the last channeling from the archangel. So I feel like this messaging is very strong at this time. So, and yes, April seems to have an intensity. So maybe there's an intensity of kind of interaction on one side and then an intensity that we can tap into on another. I'm definitely getting April is a very exciting time and very intense time. I keep getting that. So please take that opportunity. My gosh, the first couple of times I tapped into to actually told me his name was Yeshua, and he knelt before me. This is aside from the very first meeting. And I was just overwhelmed with the peace from him, and I had tears streaming down my eyes. So this is a very beautiful connection, as with the archangels. So I just can't imagine life without this connection anymore, and just feeling the lightness of being around this. So I guess this is what wanted to be shared. I wasn't actually going to share anything until after Easter, but when Jesus pops in, what can you do? So I really hope you enjoyed that. I do really strongly feel this was a lot of similar messaging, but I will have a listen. And even if that's the case, maybe this is just something that we need to hear at this time. And I wish you all a beautiful Easter. And I'll see you in the next episode.